Chersonesus, in medieval Greek contracted to Cherson, is an ancient Greek colony founded approximately 2,500 years ago in the southwestern part of the Crimean Peninsula. The colony was established in the 6th century BC by settlers from Heraclea Pontica. The ancient city is located on the shore of the Black Sea at the outskirts of Sevastopol on the Crimean Peninsula, where it is referred to as Khersones. It has been nicknamed the Ukrainian Pompeii. The site is now part of the National Preserve of Tauric Chersonesus. The name Chersonesus in Greek means peninsula and aptly describes the site on which the colony was established. It should not be confused with the Tauric Chersones, the name often applied to the whole of the southern Crimea. During much of the classical period, Chersonesus was a democracy ruled by a group of elected archons and a council called the Demiurgi. As time passed, the government grew more oligarchic, with power concentrated in the hands of the archons, a form of oath sworn by all the citizens since the 3rd century BC has survived to the present day. In 2013, Chersonesus was listed as a World Heritage Site. History. Antiquity. Greek colonies. In the late 2nd century BC, Chersonesus became a dependency of the Bosporan kingdom. It was subject to Rome from the middle of the 1st century BC until the 370s AD, when it was captured by the Huns. Byzantine era. It became a Byzantine possession during the early Middle Ages and withstood a siege by the Gokturks in 581. Byzantine rule was slight. There was a small imperial garrison more for the town's protection than for its control. It was useful to Byzantium in two ways: as an observation point to watch the barbarian tribes, and its isolation made it a popular place of exile for those who angered the Roman and later Byzantine governments. Among its more famous inmates were Pope Clement I and Pope Martin I, and a deposed Byzantine Emperor Justinian II. According to Theophanes the Confessor and others, Chersonesus was the residence of a Khazar governor in the late 7th century. In 833, Emperor Theophilus sent the nobleman Patronus Carmatirus, who had recently overseen the construction of the Khazar fortress of Sarkal, to take direct control over the city and its environs, establishing the theme of Climata Cherson. It remained in Byzantine hands until the 980s, when it reportedly fell to Kiev. Vladimir the Great agreed to evacuate the fortress only if Basil II's sister Anna Porphyrogenita would be given him in marriage. The demand caused a scandal in Constantinople. As a precondition for the marriage settlement, Vladimir was baptized here in 988, thus paving the way to the baptism of Kievan Rus. Thereafter Kherson was evacuated. Since this campaign is not recorded in Greek sources, historians have suggested that this account actually refers to the events of the Rus-Byzantine War and to a different Vladimir. In fact, most valuables looted by the Slavs in Kherson made the way to Novgorod, where they were preserved in the Cathedral of Holy Wisdom until the 20th century. One of the most interesting items from this Kherson treasure is the copper Kherson Gate, supposedly captured by the Novgorodians in Kherson, and now part of the St. Sophia Cathedral. After the Fourth Crusade, Chersonesus became dependent on the Byzantine Empire of Trebizond, and then fell under Genoese control in the early 13th century. In 1299, the town was sacked by the Mongol armies of Nogai Khan's Golden Horde. Ecclesiastical history. Chersonesus had been a Roman pre-Great Schism, later Greek Orthodox episcopal see for centuries, elevated early to the rank of archbishopric. since it is mentioned as such in the Notitia Episcopatuum. It disappeared after the Turkish conquest in 1475 and the destruction of the city. In the late 19th century, the Grand Russian Orthodox St. Vladimir's Cathedral was built on a small hill overlooking the site, designed in Byzantine style. It was intended to commemorate the site of Vladimir's baptism. Latin c. In 1333 Latin Church Diocese of Chersonesus was established, but it appears that it had only a bishop, a Dominican called Richard the Englishman. No longer a residential diocese, Chersonesus-in-Zekia is today listed by the Catholic Church as a titular archbishopric. Since the early 20th century, originally called Cherson or Chersonesus, since 1933 specifically Chersonesus-in-Zekia, avoiding confusion with other sees called Chersonesus by specifying it as Crimean. It is vacant for decades, having had the following incumbents, all of the intermediary rank: Donald Lewis McIntosh, Alexis Armand-Cherost as Coadjutor Archbishop of Rennes, succeeding as Metropolitan Archbishop of Rennes, created Cardinal Priest of S. Maria della Vittoria, previously titular Bishop of Maltopolis and Amp, Auxiliary Bishop of Cambrai, then Bishop of Lille, Giovanni Beda Cardinali, Benedictine Order, Albert Livame, Louis Parasot, Society of African Missions, Serafone Aluhoguian, Mekatarists, Hemar Guedeguan, C.A.M., later Patriarch of Cilicia of the Armenians, President of Synod of the Armenian Catholic Church. Remains. Archaeological site Chersonesus's ancient ruins are presently located in one of Sevastopol's suburbs. They were excavated by the Russian government, starting from 1827. They are today a popular tourist attraction, protected as an archaeological park. The buildings mix influences of Greek, Roman, and Byzantine culture. The defensive wall was approximately 3.5 kilometers long, 3.5 to 4 meters wide and 8 to 10 meters high, with towers at a height of 10 to 12 meters. The walls enclosed an area of about 30 hectares. Buildings include a Roman amphitheater and a Greek temple. The surrounding land under the control of the city, the Kora, consists of several square kilometers of ancient but now barren farmland, with remains of wine presses and defensive towers. According to archaeologists, the evidence suggests that the locals were paid to do the farm work instead of being enslaved. The excavated tombstones hint at burial practices that were different from the Greek ones. Each stone marks the tomb of an individual, instead of the whole family, and the decorations include only objects like sashes and weapons, instead of burial statues. Over half of the tombs archaeologists have found have bones of children. Burned remnants suggest that the city was plundered and destroyed. In 2007, Chersonesus tied for fifth in the Seven Wonders of Ukraine poll. On February 13, 2009, Ukrainian Defense Minister Yuri Yekhnurov called on Russia's Black Sea Naval Fleet to move its automobile depot from the site to another place. The location of the Russian Black Sea Naval Fleet's automobile depot was one of the obstacles to the inclusion of the reserve on UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites. The 1935 Basilica. The 1935 Basilica is the most famous basilica excavated in Chersonesus. The original name is unknown, so 1935 refers to the year it was opened. The basilica was probably built in the 6th century on the site of an earlier temple, assumed by historians to be a synagogue, itself replacing a small temple dating from the early days of Christianity. The 1935 basilica is often used as an image representing Chersonesus. Its picture appears on one Ukrainian banknote. Museum contents. As well as the archaeological sites, the museum has around 200,000 smaller items from 05 AD to the 15th century, over 5,000 of which are currently exhibited. These include ancient texts, including the Oath of Chersonese citizens, decrees in honor of Diophantus, a collection of coins, a mosaic of black and white pebbles and colored stones, ancient ceramics, architectural fragments, including ancient and medieval abacuses, reliefs, the remains of ancient murals. Current studies. The Institute of Classical Archaeology of the University of Texas at Austin and the local archaeological park has investigated the site since 1992. The Ukrainian government has included the site on its tentative World Heritage List. The site, however, is in danger of further urban encroachment and coastal erosion. In 2013, Chersonesus was listed as a World Heritage Site. Ancient City of Tauric Chersonesus.It scorer, UNESCO. As Ancient City of Tauric Chersonesus.It scorer. During the 2014 Crimean crisis, the Crimean Peninsula was annexed by Russia, but UNESCO has maintained that it will continue to recognize Crimea and its heritage sites as belonging to Ukraine. Problems and controversies. The encroachment of modern building in and around the ancient archaeological site, coupled with a lack of funding to prevent such development pressures, has left the site of Chersonesus firmly at risk. In an October 2010 report titled Saving Our Vanishing Heritage, Global Heritage Fund identified Chersonesus as one of 12 worldwide sites most on the verge of irreparable loss and destruction, citing insufficient management and development pressures as primary causes. On July 29, 2015, Governor of Sevastopol Sergei Manuilov, after firing the director of Chersonesus Preserve Andrei Kulagin, appointed a priest, Sergei Kaluta, to the position. This move caused heated protests of the staff, and the 109 members unanimously refused to work under the new director. The conflict attracted a significant attention of the media. The workers claimed that the conflict of the governor and the director of the preserve started on July 11, when director complained about road construction works within the territory of the preserve, approved by governor without the permits necessary for works in protected areas. Eventually, under the pressure, Father Sergei stepped down.